Hello. Okay, so we're gonna do an eye look, and I'm gonna talk about wig expectations and how you can shift your expectation on wigs so that you enjoy them more, because I think a lot of times people don't like them, especially when they first try them, because there's an expectation. So we're going to talk about wig expectations versus reality in this particular video, and we're going to do my eyeshadow. Okay. What shadow palette should I use? I definitely want to do something pinky. I want to do something cool tony. I haven't used this in a while. I feel like we could go like these two colors here. All right, let's use Nirvana. So I want to talk a little bit about managing your expectations when you are first getting wigs, and just some tips, tricks, just some, thoughts about that. So I think that the first part is some of the ways we can manage our expectations is to understand that the promo pictures, especially like of the models, is just not what it really, like, yes, it's what it looks like out of the box, but like it also isn't going to look like that. Like a lot of times, some of them, I'm not even going to call out brands, but like literally brands, if you're watching this, I really think that you should maybe do like a focus panel or something of like content creators and stuff, because I feel like a lot of time like the placement is weird. It's just not how it should look, even straight out of the package. But, what are you going to do? I think that you have to manage your expectations that like what you see online is not what you're going to necessarily get. And I know it kind of stinks, right? Not only from the promo pictures, but especially if like you're choosing a wig online and it's not even a promo picture, like it's just sitting like maybe on a mannequin head. They just aren't always going to look the exact same when you get them. The other thing is sometimes you look at the promo picture and you're like, oh my gosh, I love that. And then when you get it, it really doesn't look a lot like the promo picture. The first thing I would do to manage expectations is to do a little research, see if the wig has been reviewed by a wig reviewer on YouTube. If you can find photos on Instagram of like real, or Facebook of real people wearing that wig. I think that's really, really important. To managing your expectations is to know exactly what you're going to be getting. But that then also comes into the second pitfall, which can be a lot of wig reviewers will put the wig on in front of you and show you what they did, but sometimes they won't. They'll just come on and it'll be looking great and giving you all the specs and everything. But just to be honest with you, most of the time there's some messing around. And some of that messing around can even just be in like go through the part, because when a synthetic wig comes, it could have that zigzag part. Some wig reviewers do a lot to their wigs to make it look the way that they want it to look. So you do have to keep that in mind when you're doing your research on that as well. Not only could somebody be showing you a picture of it just like plopped on their head right out of the box, but they also could be showing you a picture of them like manipulating it quite heavily. So, I would say look at a couple. Let's look at a couple different pictures, a couple different videos, and you can kind of tell a little bit and get an idea of what it's going to look like. The other pitfall is to understand the specifics of like your face shape, your length of your face, the size, your circumference of your head, your height. All of those things do change the look of a wig. So for instance, I'm 5'6.5". I could wear a wig that's just past my shoulders, but on someone that's like 6 foot, it's going to come up higher. And vice versa. I could show you a cute little bob, and if you're 5'1", it could come down quite longer. Also, your head circumference is going to shift the size a little bit too, and how things fall, and the length of your face. So if you have a longer face and the fringe on me comes to here, it might come to you here on you. Do you know what I'm saying? So like you really do have to keep in mind that, when you're looking at on other people, maybe try to, a lot of times people will tell you what their measurements are. I think mine are in my description box, but I do try to tell what my measurements are. If you don't know, I'm 21.5 circumference and 8.25 inches long on the face, but I'll have to double check. It definitely is in my description box. So in general, I'm on the petite average size for wigs. Okay. The other thing is your face shape. Just like anything else, like there's tons of articles on face shape and things like that. So certain face shapes look better in particular cuts than others, okay? So I love that you can explore a lot of different things with wigs. You know, you can explore different colors, different styles, different textures. You can just do so much, right? But in doing that, you could get a couple wigs that actually just do not flatter you and you don't like them. And some of that could be because it's simply just the wrong cut for your particular into just the wrong cut for your particular face shape. So do keep that in mind. It's so fun, like, because there's such a plethora of, you know, what you can wear and what you can do. But you know, you still have the same face shape. You can go out of your box and out of your comfort zone, but just keep that in mind. The shape of your face, look into it, see what it is, see what flatters you, because that's really important. So the other thing to keep in mind is your skin tone and your skin undertone. So, you know, some people say that I have tan skin, which I do, but my skin, and this is another thing to keep in mind, my skin shade, the color of it, does shift quite drastically from summer to winter. I have a neutral undertone, so I can pull off warm or cool tones with no issue, but some people can't do that. So it's really important to find out what your skin tone, your undertone, you know, you can watch wig reviews, like different people doing different reviews because people do them differently. But always check in with someone that you feel either has similar taste to you or has similar face structure or similar skin tone, undertone, just to like double check, just to be like, does that really actually look okay? Keeping that in mind, I also think that one of the, you know, it's you, not your wig thing, is expecting a synthetic wig to be something that it's not. You know, a wig is still a wig, okay? And a synthetic wig is, you know, I always call them synthetic hair fibers, but they aren't hair, they're fibers, right? So sometimes I feel like when you first start getting wigs, you treat it like you would treat your bio hair, but it's not hair, it's fiber. So there does have to be like a mind shift about the fact that yes, you're wearing it as hair, but it's like not hair, if that makes sense. The other thing I think is really big, and I think I did a video on this, and I will link it. In general, you can always put in the search bar of YouTube, you can put Tia Maria wig and then whatever topic, and it should come up. At this point, I think I have 1,700 videos on my channel, so most likely I've done a video on it. It's really important to understand where a wig should sit on your head. So if you have bio hair, you can use your own hairline as a guide. But if you don't, that's where it can be sort of like problematic. I'm pretty sure, I think it's like four fingers from your eyebrow is usually where the placement is. But don't quote me because I did more research on that and I can't recall that right in this moment. If your wig is too far down, 100% gonna look wiggy, okay? And if it's too far back, it's going to give it away that it is a wig, and people are going to be like, your wig's sliding off. So you really do have to understand where the placement is. Also, like, say it's a lace front, especially the ones where you can cut it to your hairline. That can be a way that it looks wiggy or not wiggy. And I think that's really what it is. Like, people want to wear wigs, and a lot of people don't want them to look like wigs, but they're wigs. You know what I'm saying? So a shift in your mindset is really important. The other thing is, and this is such truth, this is truth, unless someone is wearing a wig, or unless someone's a wig wearer, or they're like literally all up in here and here, most people can't tell. You know, we're always self-conscious about the things that bother us, and usually 9 times out of 10 when you say something to someone, they're like, oh, I didn't even notice, or that doesn't look like that to me. So in terms of like expectation, keep in mind it could just be like how you view it and not like reality about how other people see it. So really like ask yourself that. The other thing about expectation versus reality with wigs is just the simple fact of when you start wearing wigs, it looks different. It looks different than you, especially if you get a wig that isn't really close to your bio hair or your bio hair color. It's just sometimes hard to see yourself looking different. So it's often just a mental shift. So that's something to just keep in mind. And then another expectation versus reality thing is just our tastes and preferences at the time. You know, there's certain wigs that I wore religiously and loved and, you know, just absolutely adored that I'm like, meh, I'm over them now. Or, you know, I was like, listen, most of my channel was talking about the blondes, especially the ashy blondes. And I still really love the ashy blondes. And I never thought I would say this, but I'm really leaning towards brunettes more. And I mean for a long time. I'm talking about probably the last 7 years. It's been just like not that I wouldn't wear a brunette, but for the most part, it either needed to be a colorful wig or it needed to be blonde. And that was just, there was just no two ways about it. It's just like, sometimes it's just us. It's just our mind. It's just something we need to get used to. Sometimes it's just our taste. It's just our preferences at the time. That's why I go through my long-term collection regularly, because sometimes it's just like, I really don't even like this anymore. Like, this is just not my style anymore, or I've evolved. Also with expectation versus reality, I do feel like as you learn more about wigs, your idea will change about them. I still don't mind this, but like I used to wear wigs that were just lace parts. There was no messing around, no fuss, just the lace parting. And you know, sometimes I'll wear those now and sometimes I really won't. I gravitate towards a hand-tied lace front. The other thing is, like with the hand-tied features, yes, it can look like it's coming out of your scalp, but you might need to mess with it in order to do that. The other thing is when something is either a free parting or a monotop, meaning you can like part it any way. A lot of times people will put it on, they'll be like, oh, I don't like it. But you can part it any way that you want. So sometimes it's just like you need to be in the middle or to either side. You kind of have to mess with it. Sometimes you just have to mess with it. You might need to just mess with it a little bit in terms of making it and putting it in the right place. And I have a bunch of videos on free parting and monotop. Sometimes you have to get it wet, you have to set it, you have to like set it where it goes. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Sometimes it's just like you just have to play with it, and just playing with it, warming up those synthetic fibers, moving them around really can make a huge difference, even though it might seem like it wouldn't. Keep in mind that your skill level and your understanding of wigs in general is going to evolve. It's going to shift, it's going to change, it's going to grow. So, you know, if you're a little bit further along in your wig journey, maybe go back to some wigs that you have that you just like didn't like or you didn't think worked for you, and like try to see if you can get them to work for you now that you have more of an understanding. So that is sort of my thoughts on the topic. What are your thoughts on the topic? Is there anything that you would tell like a new wig wearer to keep in mind when they're first wearing wigs with regard to like their expectation versus what the reality is, that could help them in their journey? I think that would be really great. If you have a question with regard to expectation or reality of wigs, please put that down below. We're a community here, we're a team here, and we're gonna work through this together. This is a final look. And yeah, that's what I have for you. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you have, thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!